morning, everyone. Today is probably going to just be a little bit of therapy for me today. Yesterday I did something pretty stupid. I was in the middle of editing yesterday's coffee, and I finished the coffee that I had made, which was delicious, by the way. The Fallout coffee, it was yesterday. But I put the cup down, and I'm like, oh, grab a tea. So I went to grab a tea, and I saw that I had put the Yinglings, which is a lager, in my case, beer. I had 4 of them down there in the lower fridge, and I'm like, you know what? I'll just have one. Why not? And then one turned into all 4, and then I was feeling pretty good about myself, so I came up here, and I've had these beers sitting in the back of the fridge for a little while now. I didn't have the heart to throw them away. I should have. And this is all just me personally saying it out loud. Anything aged in a bourbon barrel, whether it be beer or whatever, tastes gross. It's just basically they're putting the beer in oak casks that had bourbon aged in them, so it's leaching everything out of the wood into the beer. Well, and this was in particular was a milk stout. Now I like milk stout generally. I like the way it tastes. It's nice and smooth. For me, it tastes nice. This, on the other hand, was a milk stout coffee flavored bourbon barrel aged beer. That probably around 7% alcohol, blah, 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 blah. The Yinglings were like 4.5 or something like that. So black is midnight. Black is pitch. And there was an old adage, at least it was in college. I don't know if it's the same now, but where if you are tipsy enough, things that taste bad, you don't care how bad things tasted before. It was just to keep the drunk going. So I took 2 of those downstairs and I drank both of them. And I drank both of them. I forcefully drank them because they still tasted terrible. They're the worst things. If you see milk stout, coffee, and aged in a bourbon barrel, avoid it. That's just my advice. Don't even bother taking the chance that you might like it. It's vile, and it's not good. So I downed 2 of those and then proceeded to be sick. I lost an entire day's worth of editing that I could be doing for the little series that I've done yesterday because I was sitting up here swimming and then in the bathroom hurling. And then Matt got home and found me lying face down on the bed, asleep. And was like, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, I day drunk for no reason. And him being him was not approving of it, but didn't yell at me for it. So that was helpful. He probably should have yelled at me for it, even though, I was paying for it. My throat hurts right now. I've got a big lump in it. I'm trying to work it out. It's just so many things wrong. I regret it, and I shouldn't have. But for some reason, I just saw those 4 Yinglings in there, and I'm like, you know what? I'll have one of those. And then one led to 2, and then I downed the other 2, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go find those other things and see if they still taste terrible. And they tasted terrible, but I forced them down. And I'll tell you what, coming back up, it was the most black, disgusting thing ever. I should know better. I have alcoholism in my family. I've been pretty good about every once in a while, not every day, not every week, not once a month, maybe once every 6 or 7 months, just, sitting on the front porch and having 2 beers and then, watching the sun go down. That's been kind of the extent of it. Yesterday, I just felt like being stupid, and I was stupid. And luckily I got the coffee done and uploaded, and then just started going. And then the whole thing where I said I was singing to Annie Lennox and Queen and the Eurythmics and a bunch of other people, that's very true. Basement's pretty packed in, So when you're down there, you're by yourself. You sing your heart out, singing to your lungs' content, and it's actually kind of fun. It's not fun though that way. So, but yeah, I have my mother's father, who died when she was 13, was an alcoholic, abusive one. Died of a lot of different things, I think. He worked in a steel metal plant of some sort, I think. Ended up one day sitting in a old car and got bitten by many spiders, I guess, is the story, as the story goes, and was basically died in the hospital after that. And then my grandfather West on my dad's side was an alcoholic. And then my uncle on dad's side was an alcoholic. And then I think my other uncle he died fairly young from suicide because he was a drunk. So it's pretty prevalent in the family. So I've done my best over the years to, even when I was working at the Blitz, I did my best to not overindulge. And then there was that one time when I worked at the Blitz when Ronnie Hunter had a Christmas party, and it's certainly not her fault. I don't blame her or anybody around me. I did what I drank. I drank too much. Actually slept on her couch and then could not eat anything or keep anything down for 3 days. It was a really bad time because it wasn't just beer at that point. She had a lot of different things. She had Parrot Bay rum, she had Jägermeister, she had a Jägermeister machine, a freezing Jägermeister machine that took 2 Jägermeister bottles in her kitchen. I'm sure she has several of those, but I remember she had that one in her kitchen. Cabin Boy rum, lots of Jägermeister, and it was a mess for several days after that. I was definitely lucky I did not die. She ordered pizza. I took a bite that morning and then proceeded to run and throw everything up. So Ronnie Hunter, one of my favorite people in the world. But that's not joking. That's serious. She's one of my favorite people. That was definitely a time, and I'm pretty sure if you ever see Fat Johnny, or he can tell you about how I was already half drunk and I was pointing at bottles that I was going to drink on the table. So just being silly, trying to show off, because that's what we did back then. We showed off when we were younger, and I am not younger anymore. I am 47 years old, and I can't do that anymore because there are medications that I have to take that involve not drinking, at least eating during the day, and I didn't eat anything last night at all. I'm gonna go about 32 grams of coffee today. We're gonna put it in here. This is the Twin Sun Tiramisu, the delicious tiramisu flavored coffee, and this is done. Happy days. So we'll put this in here. But yeah, alcoholism is a big deal in the family, more or less. And I have other addictions. I'm addicted to collecting Star Trek stuff. This show, I would say, is a bit of something that I really feel like I need to do or want to do, and you're hard pressed to stop me from doing it, even if I'm sick. So I guess this is kind of an addiction. And more, this is a hobby, but hobbies are addictions. And collecting that junk downstairs, all that Star Trek stuff, that's a hobby or that kind of a thing. So, I have addictions in other ways, more healthy addictions, but sometimes I just feel like I need to do that. And I don't know why. It's just something that comes over me. It's just like everything else. It's just like a wave of depression. I sit outside for about 2 or 3 hours, and then it kind of goes away, and then it goes away more, or, I don't know. It's kind of like that. And I don't know if it's that way with folks that have addictions, or maybe the addiction of alcoholism is just, you just don't fight the urge, so it doesn't feel like an urge. It's just a standard of living. So I know Johnny was on the way along with me with some alcoholism, getting into that, and I think he stopped himself pretty cold, which is good for him. I know quite a few people that have stopped drinking, and they are my heroes. You know, like I said, I've been pretty good about not drinking. It's just yesterday I just had a minute where I was like, you know what? I'll just have one. And then it's like, those go down. So the Yinglings are, for me, they do go down easy. So that was good. But then those other two reminded me of why I didn't drink those things. They were just disgusting. But I drank them. And I will not be doing that again. And now every time I turn my head kind of slightly, I can smell that horrible bourbon-aged coffee milk stout. And I can't reiterate enough how disgusting bourbon barrel-aged anything must be based on how terrible that bourbon-aged beer is. I never really was into bourbon, you know. I really wasn't into any. I didn't really gravitate towards any specific. Some people like gin. Some people like bourbon. Some people like single malt scotch, you know, that kind of a thing. Never, ever gravitated to like that. It was just more or less just beer and fruity drinks. Martinis sometimes were kind of nice, I guess. Nice, quote unquote, nice, not really nice. More like just fitting in because you felt like you needed to, you know, and you didn't have to, but it was just, you know, another aspect of my personality where it's like, you know, you should probably fit in right now. So go ahead and get a martini from the free bar, you know. No one's fault but my own. Absolutely not. No one's fault but my own. Yesterday was no different. No one's fault but my own. And I don't know why I did it. I just did. And I regretted it. I regretted it all day because there went an entire day of me being able to edit something and an entire day where I could have been productive and done something. And instead I was sitting drunk in a chair, and then I was sitting drunk hovering over a toilet, and then I was laying drunk on the bed until Matt came home and was like, what the hell's wrong with you? So, you know, could have done so much yesterday and I didn't. And it's just my stupid. We're gonna grind this up though. Stuff smells really good ground up. It's actually it smells nicer when it's being ground. I don't know what the aerosol is that it's releasing, but it definitely just has a really nice smell to it. So we got about 32.5 grams, which to me sounds really great. Let's go get some water. Oop, I got one over here. So yeah, I didn't have anything to eat yesterday until about 10:30 at night when I got a bowl of Special K. I have strawberry Special K up there that I really like to eat periodically. And I had a bowl of that and was able to begrudgingly keep it down. Stomach didn't feel great. It didn't feel great at all, but I was able to keep it down. So it's, you know, and it's not like I was depressed. I wasn't upset. I wasn't angry. I was just, was I curious? You know, did I just want to feel drunk? And it was in the safety of my own home with 3 toilets to choose from if I needed to throw up. Yeah, probably what it was. It was just me being silly in a moment that cost me an entire day. So, and it's just, you know, those are the things that just happen to me. My experience is not everyone else's experience. Ooh, sorry. So, your mileage may vary. So, hopefully I've gotten that out of my system for the next couple of months, and it'll be better. It's weird because I saw it and I'm like, you know what? I like milk stout. And it was in those bottles, and it was in a little 4-pack, an overpriced 4-pack of bottles. I'm like, I bet that tastes okay. And it didn't. I had one bottle. I had half a bottle, and I threw it away, and I poured it down the sink, and it was just disgusting. Yeah, I'm just not a beer or a bourbon ale barrel aged connoisseur. It's just not for me, man. Ooh. So I have teas downstairs and some ginger beer, which is as ginger ale, but a little sharper. There's no alcohol in it. It's just a nice, more ginger, tickle your nose, make your tongue tingle, ginger ale. But it's ginger beer. And it tastes really good. It's just sweet and full of sugar. The mowers are out. They were out starting at 8:30 this morning. And then I don't know if it started raining on them and they just decided to stop and go underneath something. It thundered and lightninged and rained last night. I think it's going to continue to do that throughout the day periodically. But yeah, they started mowing and now the wind's really kicked up. Wind's blowing pretty good. And also, it's so funny. We have mowing on the same day that's trash day. So we got a trash truck coming down the middle of the street that's about 2.5 cars wide. Alongside of that, we've got the long ass trucks hauling the long ass trailers that have at least one sitting lawnmower and several push mowers on the back. And so that's a great mess. Hopefully UPS doesn't have to deliver anything too early today, or Amazon or FedEx, because the streets are full. It was even worse when they were spreading the mulch. They had mulch piled up in one of the places where people are supposed to get their mail, which the people that were supposed to get their mail were really happy about that. And half of them are not mobile enough to maneuver around a pile of mulch. I don't know if there was a better place for them to put it. And it stained everything pretty well. The lines are going to have to be redone, mainly because they were like scraping. They'd scrape the things up. They'd shovel them in, and then in the end, they ended up scraping and shoveling everything in there to get everything distributed. So, yeah. So it's an interesting time on Wednesdays. Okay, almost 5 minutes, probably around 5 minutes since I was jawing a little bit before I hit the button. Hang on. Yeah, I thought I had to sneeze. I guess I don't. I will, but not right now. Into Stitch. I've been on Instagram a lot, and I guess I should swirl just a little bit here, huh? Been on Instagram and watched one or two. They're posting. Disney's posting the lady or gentleman or they them that are in the Stitch costume that goes around Disney, posting them doing various things, and it's the most adorable thing. I watched them do their stuff, and I'm like, I could do that. Because I did it for, I don't know how many years, to 10 years at Sunny, basically. Did that at Sunny as the Sunny 95 mascot. And I wouldn't have admitted it then, but I'll admit it now. I had a good time. It was a lot of fun. The kids loved it. High fives and hugs and, them just being brave around the mascot, which was really funny. I got to hang out with Stinger, and I think once or twice I got to hang out with Brutus the Buckeye. A lot of Stinger, though. I was with Stinger and Crew Cat from the Columbus Crew Cat. We did a lot of promotions together. I don't think there were very many radio stations around town that still had head-to-toe mascots. It was mostly sports teams that had mascots, so we would be one of the few that could interact with the other mascots, and that was a lot of fun. Crew Cat was pretty cool. Stinger was really neat. I liked how he's almost like felt. And then Brutus, Brutus is wild. Doing all those push-ups in that head, and then doing backflips and high jumps, and oh my God, the athletic individual that's in Brutus's body is insane. I wouldn't have been able to do any of that. GoPro overheated. Who saw that coming? It will be all right. That smells really nice. Got a good taste to it. You would think after having that coffee stout yesterday, coffee, it would put me off, but no, it was bad coffee. We'll just say that. It was bad coffee. This is good coffee. And it has a lot of nice things going for it. Like a nice creamy finish with the mascarpone flavoring, and then the coffee with the chocolate. It's just so many good things to like about it. Tastes really good. Thank you for letting me get that off of my chest today. I know it's not always about the coffee. Sometimes it's about the coffee. Sometimes it's just about me needing to talk. And that's how this whole thing started. A year and a half ago, I needed some place to talk. And this was it. And it's still my place to talk. So I hope you have a wonderful Wednesday. Get yourself a cup of coffee. Enjoy the day. Hopefully you've got someone working next to you that you can stand. I know the days when I was working, there was a time when I didn't have that, a couple of times. I'll have to tell you someday about the closet that I was put into. I think I may have mentioned it before, but it's so far back in the line of coffees. A lot of people aren't going back to see stuff. They want to see brand new stuff right off the bat. So no one wants to hear you talking about yesterday. They want you to hear about you talking about tomorrow. And today the wind's blowing. Have a great day. We'll talk to you later. Bye.